Well, I've got my 97 SL and I'm going to change the carpeting in it. And I'm going to change it from gold to black. I've got the black trim. I've got black trim on the doors, in the black dash, and the console and everything. So it'll look pretty good even with all the seats are tan. And I'm trying, although the carpeting doesn't look bad right now, to tell you the truth. It looks much better right now that I'm preparing to change it. But I'm going to try to make this a step-by-step to maybe to help somebody else who's going to go through the same thing. Okay, I just unboxed the carpeting. This is what it looks like. There's the box that comes in from Auto Custom Carpets, 150 bucks, 149. And as you can see, it has no holes cut in it, so I'm going to have to cut my own holes. And from what I've read online, it's a good idea to take like a soldering iron after you cut the holes and sort of cauterize the cuts so they won't fray. So maybe I'll try that. But that's what you get right there. And it does come with padding on the back. Here's the front, more padding up there, as you can see. So that's good. Okay, the first thing I did was take the 2 bucket seats out. Now I don't have power seats, I just have manual seats. So there's really easy, just 8 Torx head bolts like this to take out. I didn't have a fitting, so I used a 9/16 inch socket, and no wires in the way except for the seat belt alarm, which you see there, and that easily unsnaps. And then I also took down 2 panels on the side there. They unsnap, and I'm about to take off the console. Pretty easy so far. Okay, to take the console out, once again, this is an SL model, so there's not a lot of electronics hooked up to that at all. I just had to unplug the cigarette lighter and the light bulb that connects to that. And then there's a cup holder light bulb that I had to disconnect also. And then on the sides of the console, and towards the back, down in there, which it has a cover that normally goes on there. There's 2 Phillips head screws that go in there, and up on the front on the right and left side there's 2 more Phillips head screws. So it's really pretty easy to do. Okay, with these side panels under the door, or along the side of the door, the runner panels here, right there, all they do is snap off, which is kind of risky business. You can see the kind of attachment they have there. You pull them, they're really on there hard, and I was afraid that because this is just plastic that I'd pull them off and I'd crack the plastic, but I got both sides off all right, so it worked out okay. Just snap into place. Okay, as far as taking the seat out, that just pops out from the bottom, and then in front you've got these metal bands here, or rods here, that just snap in, so that's easy to take out. And then same thing with your side moldings over there, they snap out of place, and then you can remove your carpet. Then after all that is loosened, you can just simply pull the carpeting out. I didn't pull those side seatbelt things off, or plastic panels off, because they didn't look like it looked like I could just stuff the carpet underneath there. And they recommend you vacuum the floorboard now, which I'm going to do. And you can see the condition of the old carpeting. A little bit worse after it's out compared to the new. pretty clean looking. And I'm going to be very careful when I make my cuts. I've got a razor knife, and I'm going to make most of the cuts with that, I guess. I might put the old carpeting on top of the new, just to get a general idea of where to make the cuts. But Old Nut gave me a good way to do this with a new carpeting. Put it in the sunlight to warm it up, or do it on a warm day. So it's been in the sun, although it's only in the low 60s here today. Hopefully it'll go in all right. Okay, I'm dropping the carpet into place. I made a slit up the center line here all the way up to the front. And about the best way that I've found out to gauge how far forward the carpet needs to go is by the vents underneath the seat. The carpet, you have to cut a hole in there, the carpet slips underneath there. So that's a pretty good indication of where the carpet, how far forward the carpet has to go. That's what I'm using anyway. Be careful when you cut. Once again, for me, this is one of the best indications of how far up or back the carpet has to go, because there's this, it is molded carpeting, and you have a ledge there, and you can see the bar that it drops over underneath the carpeting right here. So that fits there, fits your vents on both sides. So you pull it, I'm pulling it up to there, and then I'm working from the console, the center console out this way and up, and then to the edges. So far so good. When you're making your cuttings around the console, you want to cut a little bit and then refit, put the console back in to the approximate area where it belongs, and then do a little more cutting. So you just don't want to overcut. I don't want to go past those tabs right there. So it's just fit and cut, fit and cut. Okay, I've pretty much got it, all the carpet trimmed and installed. I'm just starting to put the seats in. I haven't bolted them down yet, but the only thing I didn't do is put this plastic part back underneath the console, and I didn't see a real big need for that. Besides, it's stapled on. If it becomes a problem in the future, well then I'll take. It's only 4 screws to take the console out. I'll put it back in, no problem. Looking pretty good so far. After the seats are in, I'm all set. Okay, we're all finished with the job, and it looks pretty darn nice, I have to say. Once again, it's not factory, but it's a pretty good grade of carpeting, and everything looks good. Fits well. But the biggest thing I could say is be careful where you cut right from the very beginning. Make sure where you're cutting down the center console fit to the heating ducts underneath the seats, as far as forward and back. And all the time you're laying this carpeting, make sure you're seated in the corners, down there, down in here. Before you cut along here, make sure that's down there, that's down there. This is all seated before you're cut, because it's real easy to cut it short. Makes a big difference. Looks good. Now all I have to do is buy some black floor mats and I'm all set.